Okay, so to use the public APIs, first we'll need to grab the census block ID for each customer. To do this, we can use something called the Census Geocode Library, which is a wrapper for the US Census Bureau's geocoder tool. So let's start by installing the Census Geocode Python library. Once that has been installed, let's prep the data to pass to it. This geocode API can accept up to 10,000 addresses per batch. That works for us since our training set contains only 2,500 records. If you had more records, you'd have to chunk your data and send multiple requests. So first we'll go ahead and we'll subset the data frame to the fields expected by the API, which are just these relevant address fields. Next, we'll go ahead and we'll save this subset data frame as a CSV file to pass to the API. Once we have the file good to go, let's pass it to the API. Here, we set a parameter that ensures we're using the current census data. Then we pass the correctly formatted CSV file that we just created to the address batch method. So this will take some time to run, maybe 5 minutes or so. Lastly, we'll load the results into a new data frame. All right, so go ahead and check it out, and let's see. All right, so it looks like it did not return the block group IDs for us. You may have to call the geocoder API directly instead of using the Python library wrapper to do this. Let's move on for now. Now that we have these census codes, we can pull down the fields from the US Census Bureau's public API. Okay, so it looks like most of them matched to the geocoder tool. All right, so let's go ahead and let's install the Census Python library. All right, next we have to figure out how to grab those American Community Survey fields. If you navigate here, you can see the technical documentation for using this API. So to start, go ahead and create an API key. And I'll link to this in the resources section. It's pretty simple. You just fill this out, and organization name, I just put NA. They should email you within the next few minutes with your API key. All right, so since we don't have the census block group IDs in the data still, let's figure out what other geography levels are supported for data aggregation. So if you navigate to this link here, it tells you the available geographies at which the data is aggregated. All right, so we just go ahead and we check this out. Let's see, checking out the geography aggregation, what we can do with what we have in our data set. So it does look like zip code is supported. Yep, zip code tabulation area. So let's just use that for now. So if we hop back to our Jupyter notebook, we will go ahead and we'll specify zip code tabulation area asterisk, which means return all zip codes within our geo equals 4 parameter. Feel free to come back and play around with the aggregation level if you want to get it more granular. Next, we have to check out what variables we want. You can find the variable codes here. So I put it directly in the notebook, but these are all the variable codes. To calculate the percent that our family households, we'll be using the variable code B11016_002E, which is the total number of family households divided by the total number of households, B11016_001E. So we're going to extract these two variables from the Census Bureau API. So we'll pass these into the get method field's name parameter right here. Variables to extract within the field's name parameter. And let's go ahead and run that. Check out the response. And what we'll do is we'll then iterate over the response. We're going to create a cleaned dictionary object that contains the percent family household value for each zip code. So you can see we're just grabbing the zip codes each of the features that we pulled in within here, and we'll calculate the percentage family by dividing family households over total households, and we'll append that to the clean dictionary. Okay, so once we have that, let's go ahead and let's create our feature. You can see, right, zip code and percent family household. So some zip codes in our data set are missing leading zeros, and we'll just quickly fix this by applying this function here, which just adds that leading zero that's missing it. And then we'll use zip code to go ahead and look up the percent family value in the dictionary we just created. So we're going to apply this lookup function to the zip code column where we pass in zip code to our clean dictionary, and it'll go ahead and return one of these values of percent family. All right, so here is our new feature, percent family US Census. All right, so you'll notice some differences between the Geocodio family percent, right, percent family here, and the Census Bureau API family percentage. This is because we used the 2017 to 2021 5-year average values within the US Census API call, denoted by AS5, that means 5 years, year equals 2021, so 2017 to 2021, whereas Geocodio likely used the most recent 2022 1-year average, or something like that. You'd have to confirm with them. But the respective differences between the zip codes, just checking them out, still appear somewhat similar. So you can go ahead and you can grab these values from whichever ACS file you deem most informative as you work through this. All right, so that's it. Now that we have our new values, time to see how they perform.